we have on 9th our first convocation, and then we are planning to bring a student. I am unable to change the name of the slide as well as the date. So, but the presentation is same. So right now I will discuss about the smart grids overview with Indian scenario, and the outline of the presentation is as follows. I will grid, the smart grid domain, Indian power sector, smart grid initiative, solar power plant overview, and then talk about the wind. So when we're talking about the smart grid, and you can see from this slide, we can see from this slide what is a smart grid. Then we will see here, if we don't know, if we don't know anything, and if suppose if we know also, okay, this is that and this is this, but if eyes is full, and if we will come near, as an example shows you, okay, we will come near the rope tail of the elephant, then we will assume, oh, this is a rope. Similarly, I am sitting on the nearby to his leg, then what we will think, oh, it is a tree. So what we think, we assume according to the way we look, the way we feel. So depending upon the way we look, we reply. But in 2009, 8 January 2009, Barack Obama, president of USA, said, when we're talking about the smart grid, the smarter should be what? Smarter should be generation, transmission, distribution. So already know, I think the faculty members as well as the students which are sitting in front of me, they are well aware of the generation, transmission and distribution, because power system is defined as a generation, transmission and distribution. But yes, to be a smarter, customer participation, as we are, they should also be smarter. Operation, who is taking care of the operation of this distribution side as well as transmission side, they should also be a smarter. Market, the best example I can give, previously when we are using a mobile phone, we are also giving a charges of the outgoing as well as incoming. So in that way we can say, but due to competitive market, what now everything is free, and 399 रुपए में जियो आ गया ना, we can enjoy a lot. So this is due to a market. Then a service provider, the different states have different service provider, UPPCL, Rajasthan Electricity Board, Madhya Pradesh Electricity Boards. So everyone should be smarter. Then the overall objective of the smart grid is smart, best and optimal utilization of all the available resources. So dear friends, when we are talking about all the available resources, we are not only talking about the conventional thermal, hydro, nuclear, biogas, etc. We are also talking about the renewable energy resources at these days we are promoting. So when we're talking about the definition, then the National Institute of Standard and Technology say, what is a smart grid? A smart grid is nothing, it is a modernized grid that enables a bidirectional flow of energy and use two-way communication and control capability that will lead to an array of new functionality and application. So as I think most of the members who are sitting here is a faculty, so I think please correct me if I am wrong. If I am teaching, if you are teaching in a classroom, if there will be a two-way communication, then I think the result of the class, the result of the batch will be better, because I think the students are getting something. But if there is only a one-way communication, either from the faculty side, either from the student side, then I think that the efficiency, the reliability, and the output will be less. So that's why we can say, if there are two-way communication anywhere, then we can assume that the output will be better as compared to when there is a one-way communication. But IEEE says a smart grid is a system of systems. यानी systems का system है where there are three domains. One is a power energy layer, as we are, communication layer, the guys from the electronic side, and the IT and computer layer, the guys from the computer science. So you will be happy to know that the power and energy layer will become smarter only when then next two layers, 2 and 3, will only make our infrastructure smarter, because communication कैसे, software कैसे होना है, everything they take care of. So earlier power days, when we're talking about the power system, we know that generation से हम चले और चलते चलते हम consumer पे आ गए. GCET लिखा है, Government Engineering College. Let us assume this is your college. So, but what we have in between, we have transmission, primary and secondary. Then we have a distribution, primary and secondary. So as per, please correct me here, because I have mentioned here that the right now the rated capacity of the transmission voltage in India is not 765 kV, it is 1200 kV. And the first test plant which was established for this was in Bina, MP, with a cost of around, I think, 8 to 1200 crores. And the first commercial line which is running right now of 1200 kV is in Maharashtra, which is in between Wardha and Aurangabad. So today we have 1200 kV transmission line that is proud of us, and this this is due to power grid. And secondly, when we are talking of the transmission, we also have, as everyone knows, DC transmission, and also we have updated the rating of the DC transmission also with the capacity of 800 kV, not 500 and 600. It is an 800 kV with the capacity of 6000 megawatt, and it is running between Tiruchirappalli, I think, Assam to Agra, UP, and it is coming through a chicken neck of India. So this was our previous transmission line, and this transmission taken care by the power grid. And but when we're talking about the modern power system, then you can see we have a bi-directional information from one to another. Either it is a consumer device, either it is a provider, either it is a transmission, either it is a distribution. Everything is, they are communicating each other, so that if anything, any constraint, any XYZ happen, so that they can initiate accordingly. This is some of the characteristic of the modern power system. So my friends, when we are talking about the characteristic, the wide geographical spread due to large distance, कन्याकुमारी से कश्मीर से लेकर के इधर गुजरात से उधर वेस्ट बंगाल तक इतना बड़ा एरिया है, it is a wide spread, है ना? And sometime what happened, the conventional source of energy is at one place, and the load we are transmitting to the different state. As we see that the generation in the Seven Sisters Northeast is much higher as compared to the load. So what we are trying to extract that power toward the northern region, where UP, Bihar and Delhi, where the load is high. So due to this, the large number of interconnections are there. We will see the Indian map, where we have previously the 5 grid, regional grids, but now when the southern grid comes in contact with the western and eastern grid, now our nation is known as one nation, one grid and one frequency. Then the rapid growth of the demand of the electricity, I think this is for you all guys. As we know, there is a rapid growth of the electricity because of you. Because of you means because the standard of the life is increasing. पहले क्या था, we are sitting in the room and we only have a table fan and the floor fan. But these days everyone wants AC because the standard of life is increased. But my friend, area has not increased, resources have not increased, but yes, our standard has increased and our need is increased. So there is a rapid growth in the demand of electricity, and due to which the power system component are being operated to the closer limit where they are designed. So that's why these days we are concentrating toward the renewable energy resources. And why we are concentrating toward the renewable energy sources, that is well known for you, because of the pollution and because of one day will happen when the coal and this oil will not be here. So that's why we are also working toward the electric vehicles also. And the last is a competitive electricity market. So these are some components and the equipments that make our system more smarter, and one of them is the sensing and measurement system, which is called a backbone of the smart grid. क्योंकि अगर कोई फॉल्ट है, कुछ कंस्टेंट है, कुछ कंटीजेंसी है, अगर वो हमको प्रॉपर समय पे इन्फॉर्म नहीं होती, then there will be a failure. That's why sensing means sensing of what? Because let me tell you, and I think you also as a faculty member, you should motivate your students. Just I want to tell you, please don't take it otherwise. When we are talking about the electrical engineering department, we are very VIP guys. When we're talking about the VIP guys, we are not very important person, but yeah, we always deal with VI and P for whole life, starting from our diploma to PhD to postdoc, for the teaching, always dealing with VIP. Why we are dealing with VIP? Because see, when we give voltage, for voltage, we give voltage somewhere, and where we give voltage somewhere, we will give voltage to some circuit. And which type of circuit electrical engineer have? RLC. And if the circuit is closed, then obviously I will flow. And if this I will flow, then according to the circuit, power will come. Real, reactive, and apparent. So always we play in VIPs, and that's why this branch is very VIP. And when we're talking about the sensing and measurement unit, we have to measure these only. VIP, either a circuit elements, what are they? That's why I have mentioned this point. So also the smart meter and the associated advanced metering infrastructure, they also help us to monitor and control in the protection devices. Also the real time measurement, it is very important. Real time का मतलब है तुरंत अगर कुछ fault आती है, if we are sensing everything in the real time, then obviously we can more reliable, and then the system will be more stable. So similarly, these days the technology we have, PMUs and synchro phaser, that will also help a lot in the wide area monitoring as well as the making a system smarter. So not going in more detail of this equipment, because all the members sitting here, they already know, they are the faculty members, and they can search it, what I'm talking about right now. But you should know the overview. Right now I'm giving only the overview. So when we're talking about the communication part, so you can see I have just shown some figures. The communication can be through you already know the Wi-Fi and some SIM and GSM, right? So there are some number, depending upon the length, depending upon the requirement, we decide which type of internet facility, communication facility we want, so that we can communicate an information from the field where our transmission line, where our load, where our distribution equipments are placed, so that they can give an information to the control room where we can monitor the things. So here you can have a smart meters. Here we have a data meter data management system. Then SCADA. We will see the SCADA. What is SCADA? And also there are key roles of the equipments like conductors, then advanced generation technology, then advanced storage technology. These days we are talking about the fuel cells. So there are a number of equipments are also coming in picture, which are giving more which are giving more attraction toward the smart grid activities in our power. So this is an overall structure of the smart grid. When we're talking about the smart grid, you can see I have taken 3 different colors arrows, and in this in the red one, this is all about the communication. And when we're talking about the 2 arrows which are in the navy blue and sky blue, in the sky blue they are the single directional, but the navy blue, they are the somewhere they are bidirectional and somewhere they are single directional. And I think there is no need to explain you what do you mean by bidirectional information and single directional information. And you will happy to see that the wind farm and the solar farm, they are directly connected to the transmission also, and they are directly connected to the distribution also, depending upon the rating that they have. And the recently PM Narendra Modi, our honorable PM, has inaugurated a 750 megawatt solar treatment solar plant in Riva, I think MP, that can be directly connected to the transmission and to the grid, so that it can be transmitted to the next level. So this is a graph of the SCADA that I want to tell you. SCADA is nothing, it is supervisory control of data acquisition system, where we can sit in a room. Right now I am sitting in my office, we can monitor whole IT Jammu campus, what is happening at each floor, what is happening at each building, how much load, how much generation is coming from DG, how much generation is coming from solar, and how much generation is coming from the grid, and how much sharing has been done by the UPS system. So that is possible sitting at one room and monitoring whole campus. There is no need to go in each and every substation and see. And sitting at a one place, you can shut down and turn on and turn off the monitor sort of feeders, sitting at one place according to the load, according to the contingency. So, and this SCADA system, generally in this you generally need some RTUs and some communication protocols, as well as and let us suppose in your college, if you have one substation, so whatever the equipment which is placed in substation, it will be SCADA compatible. Otherwise, you cannot do that. So when we're talking about the SCADA compatible, okay, no doubt, what you want VI, some parameters from there that should be communicated so that you can take decision. But yeah, some circuit breakers are there. If they are not motorized, then you cannot turn off and turn on. So whatever equipment you want, it should be SCADA compatible and have a communication protocol so that they can manage. So there are some few challenges. This is an overview, but when we're talking about the challenges and the R&D required in this area, microgrid and smart grid, then you can see few challenges are voltage stabilization, power management, real and reactive power injection from grid to the network from the load. Then PQ management. PQ is not a real and reactive power; it's a power quality management. Obviously, when there is solar, wind, and XY, all the power electronic devices are there, then no doubt the harmonics will come. So how we are going to reduce this thing so that the harmonics which are injected into the grid will be less. Then the protection, no doubt there should be a proper protection. Then grid integration, point of common coupling play an important role, because sometimes grid is out, sometimes grid is in. Then this point is also an important, how you are going to connect and you will handle the things. The stability issue is also very important because solar and wind is there and they are uncertain. And if it is a huge amount and if suddenly is gone, then obviously then the voltage and the power, there will be some fluctuation and stability may be the issue and you have to take care. Then there is an island operation also. If it is not connected to the grid, it means the microgrid is island mode. Whatever you are generating, you are using as a load. So what we can do some research in that according to the design of the microgrid architecture. So when we're talking about the architecture, you should know what equipment, what are the components that you want to include in your microgrid. Like, you use battery storage, you use wind, solar, grid, UPS system. UPS means battery, that's all, DG system. So, and as well as biogas, as well as XYZ. So according to the architecture, you can plan. And then also, suppose you have a solar, you don't want to convert it into a AC and you directly want to use the solar DC supply to your load, then there may be a combination of AC microgrid and DC microgrid, or there may be an individual AC microgrid or individual DC microgrid. Then converter topology, when you have decided that, then the converter topology also play an important role. You can work on that. Then control architecture, how you are going to control the things, the equipment which was there, the load. I'm talking about the equipment as well as the load management, everything. How you are going to control the things which are there. Then all maximum power point tracking scheme, then adaptation scheme, islanded detection management scheme, then virtual inertia scheme, then micro energy management systems. So these are some research in that you can do, but according to the architecture, what you have and what are your requirement. So, friends, when we're talking about the Indian power sector management, so this is a small, flow chart. You can say a block diagram. You can say, is starting from the central government to the, state to the village sectors. So, in this way, our whole Indian power sector management is divided. I think everybody know when we're talking the central government generation units, we have NTPC, NHPC, NEPCOs, NEPS, Nuclear Power Corporation India Limited, etc. And when we're talking about the transmission, we have a power grid. And when we're talking about the system, operation, we have NLDC, RLDC, POSOCO. And when we're talking about the finance, we have PFC, the rural electrification. Authorities, you already know CEA, R&D training, you also know CPRI, NPTI. So these are, a block diagram how this our national Indian power sector has been divided and how it is managed. So, and this is, a small data that I want to share with you from past 1 year. You can say now, you can say past 2 years, because data is from Feb to March 2019. You can see conventional as well as renewable energy resources, how the generation is going on in India. And the data that I have taken, it is a source from the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy. as well as Central Electricity Authority, that in the previous slide I told you, CEA. I think you all know. And you will be surprised to know that the maximum generation in India is taken care by the private sector, 46%, and then it is coming from the state 30%, and rest is coming from the central government. So this is a power situation that we have in 2018 to 2019, and the energy demand was 134 mega unit, and what we have met 12,03567 mega unit. It means we were always in deficit. Till date also we have on deficit, but no doubt we are concentrating more. And the peak demand between this year was 164,066 megawatt, but what we have met 16752 megawatt. So please, forgive me, because the data for the per capita consumption of electricity was quite old. I have not found the recent data, but yeah, I will search and I will update this. But in the year of 2015 to 16, the per capita consumption of India was this much. So yeah, this is your interconnection. When we're talking about the interconnection of the transmission line, the network that we have in whole India is like this. As I told you, previously our India was divided into 5 regions: northern region, southern region, western region, eastern region, then northeastern region, 7 sisters that we call. So we can see here, when the southern region was came in contact with the eastern and western region in December 2013, I hope, then our India is known as one nation, one grid and one frequency. And the data in the table, you can see how much renewable energy and how much total power is generated in each region, and how these regions are connected with each other, and how many kilometers of line which is running from one place to another, you can find in the second table. And when we are talking on the 765 kV transmission line, it is 40,873 kilometers all over India. So I have not taken any data about 1200 kV line, because right now we have only one line which is running from Aurangabad to Wardha, which is in Maharashtra. So these are some initiatives that has been taken by the government. Indian Smart Grid Task Force, Indian Smart Grid Forum, National Smart Grid Mission, and every sites. If you want to know what is going on, you can visit and see what are the objective and what are their planning and what outcome they want. So these are the some project which is running right now, and I think some of them, I think they are also over, or either they are under process. And I'm happy to announce you that IIT Kanpur was the first academic and research institute who got this smart grid, smart city project among all the IITs and IITs and every institute of India. And this was an objective what IIT Kanpur is doing right now, because at the time when I was doing PhD, this project came. And if you want to see more, you can visit itk.ac.in/smart city. Then you can see the whole website, what they are doing, what are the objectives, and what they have planned, and what they have completed. So these are some smart grid funded projects which was funded by the DST only in the smart grid, and IIT Delhi, IIT Roorkee, IIT Kanpur, IIT Bombay, then IIT Kharagpur, they are working on that. And these are some project which is under the collaboration with DST as well as international. And you can see that Kharagpur is working with United Kingdom, and it is not Uttarakhand. It is India and United Kingdom, and IIT Bombay is working with them. But IIT Kanpur is working with the USA, and at that time when this project came to IIT Kanpur, luckily I was there, and it is a big project, and it is a project around 200 crores, and yeah, it is under the supervision of Professor S.C. Srivastava sir. And IIT Kanpur is a leading institute here, and Washington State University, Denver, is a leading institute from USA. They are working together, and most of around 6 more ITs are in this, but the leading institute is IIT Kanpur, overall in charge. So there are some other government of India new initiative. Again, I'm not going in detail. The renewable energy management centers, battery energy storage system, green energy corridors. कई बार आपने न्यूज में भी सुना होगा energy corridors. So what are their objective? What outcome they want? Then wide area monitoring, production control system, demand response pilot, and also these days everyone know the government has also take the initiative toward the promotion of the electric vehicles. So according to the government of India, a national load dispatch center also divided into some, regional load dispatch center, like an example, North region load dispatch center, Western region load dispatch center, similarly Southern region load dispatch center, and there are some states who are taking care of that. And what are their objective, you can see. So this was an overall objective that I want to give you. What is a smart grid and what are the components that we require to make the smart grid, and what are the challenges and research you can do. Then how our Indian power sector scenario, how they are divided overall. So now I will discuss something about solar and wind, then we will close this. So when we're talking about the renewable energy, the latest data that I want to share with you is that wind is 37 gigawatt, solar is 32 gigawatt, as well as the biomass is around 10 gigawatt, and the solar hydro power is around 5 gigawatt. So my friend, as you already know that our Prime Minister of India, he has already initiated the target that till to 2022, he wants, 100. Hello? Hello?
Sir, you are audible.
Sir, you are audible.
Can I continue?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, sorry to interrupt. So when we're talking about target that Prime Minister Modi has, he has a target of around till 2022. He want 100 gigawatt of solar, 60% rooftop and 40% on land. So as you see here, we have already reached around 32 gigawatt, and this data have not collected the 750 megawatt solar power plant which was recently inaugurated, and number of power plants have already been inaugurated by PM Modi related to solar. So we hope till 2022 we will get 100 gigawatt from solar. So now we will see some solar, and as a faculty member and as a student, you should know when we're talking about the solar, what are the equipment you want and how it is connected to a grid. So when we're talking about the solar, means we're talking about the sun, and we can use this sun radiation in temperature in 3 ways. One is thermal conversion. The mechanical guys, they take care, they can use the solar and they can heat water and etc. Then biological conversion according to the nature, photosynthesis, and chemical guys they can use, and then organic waste they can use. But as an electrical engineer, right now we are going to talk about the photovoltaic conversion, and we can generate an electricity. Then how this is the largest solar plant, solar plant that that was set up by rooftop, which is in Punjab, Amritsar, and with a capacity of 7.52 megawatt. Sorry, and friend, this is not a on land. This is a rooftop, यानी कि बिल्डिंगों के ऊपर, पार्किंगों के ऊपर सबसे बड़ा प्लांट जो है वो है पंजाब में अभी right now. So what we want to set up the solar rooftop or solar plant, first we have to decide the sizing of the solar module, then sizing of the inverter, then sizing of the suitable switch gears, the component that you want, then sizing of the proper transformer that you want, then proper selection of the cables, AC और DC, क्योंकि दोनों cables आपको चाहिए होंगी, इन्वर्टर के पहले DC, इन्वर्टर के बाद AC. उसके बाद selecting suitable protection of the lightning induces, क्योंकि lightning arrestor भी चाहिए, क्योंकि बिजली lightning arrestor you already know in the power system what is lightning arrestor, what I am talking about. So these are some diversifications where we can install the PV, and my friends, utility scale plant already inaugurated by one of PM in Riva. means a huge land where the solar has been set up, that can be, you can say, the utility scale plant. Then water surface PV plant, I think as per my experience, what I have, the first plant which was, set up above the canal of the river, was in Gandhinagar, Gujarat, with a 1 megawatt. We have visited in 2016 when I was doing PhD. I visited there when I visited at Gandhinagar. So similarly, commercial rooftop, you already know, every industrial buildings, every IIT, like IIT Jammu also, we have installed 500 kilowatt solar. Then mountain area, as Jammu, we are in the mountain side, and I think in Rajasthan also, there are some mountain areas. You can use this solar there. Then floating system means in the river also you can, you cannot throw these solar panels. You have to arrange in such a way that these solar panel will float in the river, and all the connection, waterproof connection, will come out and they will go to the inverter through combiner box. And finally, residential. Har ghar ke upar, I think some of the members who are sitting here, they have some solar rooftop at their native as well as at their residence also. So these are some major components that you need: some solar panels, then module where you mount, then combiner box, then inverter, then transformer, then it will go to the grid. So when we're talking about the solar module, and when we're talking about the Asia, we are talking about, a polycrystalline plate. But when we're talking about the Europe, we are talking about the monocrystalline, and when we're talking about the US, then they are taking care of the thin film, depending upon their environment, depending upon their availability. And the rating and efficiency is, everything is given here. So I'm not again going into a detail. So we can say, conclusion, we can say in Asia generally we use polycrystalline solar module, depending upon the rating. We can set, depending upon the requirement, we can take the rating and we can set up the panel. So panel decided, but where we have to fix, either we have to fix on land, whether we have to fix on the solar rooftop, sorry, the roof, either it is sloped, either it is flat. So these are some fixed fixed structure where we put the panels. But yeah, we also have trackers structure which track the solar radiation. And in IIT Kanpur solar park, we have these type of trackers. What it will do, it will track the radiation in two way. It is a single axis or double axis. As the sun change the direction, they will also change the direction by side to side, or by up and down. So this type of, you can see here we have a motor right now. So you can see this figure, black one, and we have a motor and it will work accordingly, sensing, and it will work. So after finalizing the structure, and you can see in the figure number second, where we have taken 30 solar panels and they have connected, and they are connected in series parallel. And these connection, green one is a earthing wire, and black one is a connection from where you are getting the supply. And these, all the earthing as well as black connections are coming to the combiner box. And from the combiner box, all the three black were combined, and then it is gone to an inverter. And you can see the combiner blocks. I have opened the picture that you can see. And what does it generally have? It have combiner of multiple string. You can see 10 above. These all string are combined, and then only one wire is coming out, which is going to the inverter. Then we have some protection scheme also, fuse and etc., so that it can take care. Then we have a surge protection. Then we have a DC isolator and disconnector inside, so that we can monitor accordingly. So after this, it will go to the inverter, and you can see these two wires are going into inverter, and this inverter that we have. And when we're talking about the inverters, also according to the plant that we have, we decide the rating of the inverters. And generally, we have four type of inverters: residential, string, central, and container. Obviously, the load of your house residence when you take the connection from the electricity board, it vary from 2 to 5 kilowatt. It means that is fine. But the plant which was inaugurated recently was 750 megawatt. There you cannot use string central and residential. There you have to use a big container, so that less number of inverter can be used and then less number of strings can be created and output should be more. And from the inverter, as you know, what is the work of inverter? It convert DC to AC, and as it is converted to AC, you can directly feed this AC power to the transformer. And from the transformer, you can step up the voltage and you can transmit to the different places if it is a utility scale plant. Or you can, if it is not a big utility scale plant, and if you want that can be distributed to the distribution to their society, then okay, you can step up according to the requirement from X voltage to Y voltage, and you can distribute to their society. Again, you can need a step up transformer. So, my friend, just I want to give a brief introduction here that every year, our companies are working a lot and they are modifying the, specification and characteristic of inverters in such a way so that the inverter which is used are most small, compact, and output are higher side. You can see in 17 the output. I am not mentioning each point. You can see the output was 400 volt, 80 kVA single MPPT, 55 kVA, and then string wise 4 MPPT. And every year these modification has been done, and ABB, Siemens, L&T, Schneider Electricals, they are playing their key roles in modifying the things, and also taking care of the harmonics so that the less number of the harmonics can be inserted to the grid, so that the power quality should also be maintained. So that was all about the solar, a small introduction. Now I will come to the challenges that I have already discussed when we are talking about the renewable generation. It is uncertain. Also, the voltage and frequency control, many of these do not have a reactive power generation. I think you already know that solar don't have any reactive power generation. Then a sudden generation loss may lead to instability, as I told you previously also, where we have challenges. Then power quality issue, harmonics, according to the standard of IEEE and IEC standard we have to maintain. Then maximum power point, power management and converter control, etc., that we have to take care. These SCADA, DMS, and all I have already discussed. So now I will discuss something about research. I will discuss about the research on the wind. And as I told you, we are more concentrating toward the wind, renewable, and we are avoiding this conventional energy resources, because these resources one day it will go down. And due to pollution, as it is very well known in Delhi, there are two power plants, Dadri and Faridabad, and from the agricultural waste that always be heard here from news. So we are avoiding and we are more concentrating toward the renewable. So my dear friend, the platform where I get motivated to do all this combination from this, situation. And you can see one bulb is holding a dollar note. What does it mean? It means that what does it mean? It means ki if we want to optimize, if we want to optimize the cost, what we will do, we have to optimize in such a way that the conventional as well as renewable energy resources can be used in such a way that the total cost of the capital, operational cost should be less. What we have done in our research, I have worked on unit commitment with wind power uncertainty, and there we have developed a new clustering technique. And uncertainty is simulated based on the forecasted data and prediction error. Then secondly, a scenario generation reduction analysis technique are used. And in the fourth, I think most of you know about the particle sum optimization, which was invented in 1995. I have modified that and renamed as weighted improved crazy particle sum optimization. And after getting all this work done, I have proposed a model, some algorithm, and I have to test somewhere. So for the testing this algorithm, I have used 10 thermal unit, 2 hydro unit, 1 pump storage unit, and 1 large scale wind farm. So what I have done, let us take the forecasted data from any website like MNRE, then take some prediction error, because forecasted data are not an actual data, they are just forecasted and there will be some error. So we have taken a prediction error of 25%. Then I have not used Monte Carlo simulation, I have used Latin hypercube sampling with Kolsky decomposition, show that we can generate number of scenarios. You can see blue, these are all 1,000 scenarios that we have generated. And scenario reduction technique, K-mean, hierarchical, and backward reduction technique, they are already well-known technique which was already been reported in literature. So these techniques are not proposed by me, but yeah, I have taken from the literature, and then I have proposed one technique, and my proposed technique was compared with these literature techniques. So this is a flow chart. This paper has already been published. You can go through that. And my dear friends, whenever we are talking about the conventional and non-conventional energy resources, as you know that non-conventional energy resources, renewable energy resources, they are uncertain. So we have to take a security part also. कब solar down हो जाएगा, कब wind नहीं चलेगी, और wind generation बंद हो जाए. So we have to take some security part also. Uncertainty we have to assume. Then obviously I talked about operation should have minimum cost, optimum cost, not minimum, optimum cost. So using these two, equation 1 and 2, I have generated the scenario index, which is given in equation number 3, and using this we have proposed one mathematical model. This is the mathematical model of the unit commitment, which is given in equation number 4. And there are some constraint, because see, equation number 5 is a balance equation. Balance means what? Generation should satisfy load as well as losses. So in equation number 5, you see there is a wind, hydro, and thermal, but what is PGT and PPT? PGT and PPT, this is the same plant which is known as pump storage plant. Sometime it is acting as a generating unit, some time it is acting as a pump storage unit. And equation number 6 and 7, there are some constraint, ramp up constraint, reservoir constraint, because see, if the generator, suppose 500 megawatt generator is running at 100 megawatt and suddenly load increases, it doesn't mean you pump up that generator from 100 megawatt to 500 megawatt, because there is a ramp up constraint, because the design, because of their inertia. ऐसा नहीं है कि 100 मेगावाट पे रन कर रहा था, 1 घंटे बाद उसको आप रन कर दो 500 मेगावाट पे. It is not possible. It has some constraint. It has some ramp rate limit कि 100 मेगावाट से ज्यादा 300 मेगावाट ही वो रैंप अप कर पाएगा इस समय में. So there are some constraints that we have to take care of that, so that we have taken. And then proposed approach, weighted improved crazy particle optimization. And in this you can see the red font red colored fonts. They are some modification that we have done. W is nothing, is the inertia weight in the PSO. Please go through that. And C1 in the PSO, we have C1 and C2, which is known as acceleration coefficient. And this inertia weight generally vary from 0.4 to 0.9 in PSO, and acceleration coefficient vary from 2 to 2.2, and they are the fixed number. But what we have done, we have randomized according to question number 9, 10, and 11, so that we can get an optimal cost as fast, and it should not, it could hit the target as per the model. And we have also taken not only the best position, we have also observed the worst position. So this is algorithm that PSO has taken care of that, and we have assumed. And after designing of this model, we need some test bench. As I told you, we have used 10 thermal power plant, 2 hydro power plant, 1 pump storage power plant, and 1 large wind farm. But my dear friends, this system was not available in literature. So how we are going to justify that the technique which was proposed by us is an optimal? Because कोई भी technique आप जब use करेंगे to do some optimum solution, it will reach to some point. But how you will assume कि this is an optimal or not? It will be done either by proposing some different technique, then you can compare, or either you have something in literature. So in literature we have individual 10 thermal unit data as well as some results. So what we have taken, first we have taken 10 thermal unit as a benchmark. Then equation number 12 and 13 we have checked the quality, best solution, and percentage deviation. And after checking this, we have applied the same algorithm to the proposed model that we have proposed, where we have hydro power plant, pump storage, and wind. So you can see in table that a proposed technique, yani Vic PSO, has given a better result, and the percentage of deviation from the best value is also very less than 1%. No doubt, sometime with compared to some other technique, time is high, but this is not a real time problem. It is a scheduling which we do 24 hours before. So we can see, okay, that is fine. So from this table, we can assume that the technique which was proposed by us, yeah, it is good. It is better than the other technique which was available in literature. So now same approach, same technique, with PSO and the methodology I have applied with wind, hydro, and something. And where we have generated 1,000 scenarios, we have reduced these 1,000 scenarios to 10, and the probability of this distribution is given in figure number 6. And K-mean, hierarchical, and backward technique, these are well-known technique which were previously available. So first we will check either that our technique is giving a good result with the previous technique available or not. So what we have found, these are the 10 scenarios. So what we have found, you can see in equation number 8, figure number 8, key figure number A, B, and C. A is for K-mean, B is for hierarchical, and C is for this upper backward reduction technique. So you can see I have shown some dotted lines, red dotted lines in A as well as in B. In A, I have shown that the hour number 14, 15, and 19. Just below that, 14, 15, and 19 is a zoom part of this dotted. The zoom part, you can see there is a black line, and all the colored line means other scenario, they cannot go above this line because this is a constraint. इसके नीचे ही आपको रहना है. अगर इसके ऊपर गए, that means you are violating the constraint. But you can see it, hour number 14, 15, and 19, these are violating the constraint. It means this approach is not good. Similarly, in figure number B also, hour number 14 and 19, two lines are violating the constraint. Similarly, in figure number C, all the lines are below the black line, constraint line. Means K-mean and hierarchical, they are not good for the system. We cannot use this technique to optimize this solution, to do some commitment with this type of model. But yeah, backward reduction technique is good. That is feasible. That can be used. So now our motive will be how to compare our proposed technique with the backward reduction, because जब दो टेक्निक एग्जिस्ट ही नहीं करते सिस्टम से, तो उनसे कंपेयर करने का फायदा नहीं है. तो जो टेक्निक हमने प्रपोज की उसको हमने कंपेयर किया सेवल बैकवर्ड एक्शन टेक्निक से, एंड व्हाट these are the generation that we obtained from this. These are the hydro generation, yellow and this yellow and this orange and yellow color, and this hydro plant 1, hydro plant 2. Then K-mean, hierarchical, and backward reduction technique. This is a wind generation that we are getting, wind generation. And this is a pumping of the water from lower reservoir to the upper reservoir in the pump storage plant. And this is a generation. It means sometime it is generating, sometime it is pumping. Sometimes it is generator, sometimes it is a motor. And you can see in the table the deterministic and stochastic model. So when we're talking about the deterministic and stochastic model, and everyone know what is a deterministic model, where we use a forecasted data. A stochastic model means where we use the randomness, where we use the uncertainty parameters we have taken care. So dear friends, there we have taken two analysis, without ramp and with ramp. Means without ramp rate means we are assuming that कि अगर जनरेटर 100 मेगावाट पे रन कर रहा है तो दूसरे आवर में वो 500 मेगावाट पे रन कर लेगा. लेकिन that is not critical, but still we have taken care कि उसमें क्या cost आती है. और with ramp rate, so you can see when we're taking the ramp rate, obviously the cost is high. And when we are talking about the deterministic model as well as stochastic model, deterministic model is less costlier than the stochastic model, because in the stochastic model we have taken care of the uncertainty of the wind also. Now this is our proposed clustering technique, and in this clustering technique you can see what is happening. You can see figure number 10. A, B and C. A is a figure when a clustering technique approach is taken care by the pump storage power plant also. B, C figure number B here, and you can see figure these all are like same container part. See, so this is also same, and you can see B, all the constant are satisfying. But when pump storage power plant comes to a picture, then backward reduction technique violate the constant at hour number 11 and hour number 22. Means backward reduction technique is also not good. But our technique, you can see all constants are satisfied. This is an upper constant, this is a lower constant. This is an upper constant, this is a lower constant. This is an upper constant, this is a lower constant. So finally, these are the generation. Let me show you. Sorry, these are the generation that we have got from the proposed clustering technique. And somebody can ask, sir, why you have taken 25% of prediction error? It may be less, or it may be something more than 25%. So for that I have also taken 20% as well as 30% of prediction error, and I have done the analysis on that, and the result for the same is shown in figure in table, just shown in the slide. So finally, what we can conclude here, the proposed clustering technique is more reliable than other clustering technique available in literature. And as I told you, the stochastic model is most costlier than the deterministic model. And how much it is most costlier? 7,862. Dollar per day. It is not monthly. It is not yearly. It is a per day. And I'm very keen to tell you, I'm very happy to tell you that the salary that I was getting in US, it was $3,000 per month. So you can imagine, as a postdoc, you will get only 3,000, not more than 4,000. It is monthly, and you are saving here, and the cost is gone up by $7,862 per day. But yes, when we are including PSP, pump storage plant, this stochastic model reduce the cost by $6,721 per day. यानी कि आपने $6,721 को कम कर दिया एक दिन में. किया कुछ नहीं आपने, केवल एक पंप स्टोरेज पावर प्लांट यूज किया. कभी वो एज अ हाइड्रो यूज करता है, पावर प्लांट यूज करता है, कभी एज अ मोटर यूज करता है. So I can say that the solution enable a power system operator to plan the operation of the system under wind uncertainty. So this was an overall conclusion that I want to give about the research. So finally, I want to, these are some future research that you can do, because I have only taken care of the 24 hours data. You can go for 1 week and more. Then I have used scenario reduction and generation technique. You can use uncertainty and probability set to handle uncertainty model. Then I have not gone into electricity market. You can also do some electricity market and do some price and reserve uncertainty. Then you can also solve the objective of security constraint unit control problem, where you can do some contingency analysis. Then you can use not only PSO. Somewhere I have also used GSA and BAT colony. You can also use some different technique and see either your technique is better than which was in the literature. And similarly, you can propose this method to the Northern Grid. So finally, I'm coming back to, coming to the right now IT Jammu. I have totally changed my research area from optimization. Now I'm started working in smart grid and microgrid, where I'm working in solar, wind, and distribution side. And IT Jammu is setting up, a test bed platform for the advanced multi-stage automation control for microgrid, and we have already purchased an RTDS, real-time digital simulator, and we are planning to purchase PMUs and solar emulator, wind emulator, amplifier, controller, so that we can set up a test bench in IIT Jammu of the microgrid, and research can be done. So this was all about from my side, and just I want to show one more thing to you so that you can get some real feel. How we have already have a solar generation in IIT Jammu, and just I want to show you the real generation, what is happening right now in IIT Jammu campus, because this is under my control. So I will show you. In hostel area, we are generating, capacity of 164.16 kilowatt peak. है ना? So this is your generation, what is happening. You can see right now the time is 15, and दिस इज अ डाटा 2:55 पे जो जनरेशन हुआ हॉस्टल की बिल्डिंगों के ऊपर जो सोलर लगा है वो है 1920 किलोवाट, और जो रेडिएशन है राइट नाउ वो है 116 पर मीटर स्क्वायर, राइट. सो दिस इज अ रियल जनरेशन, यू कैन ट्रैक. और जो कल का जनरेशन IIT जम्मू में हुआ पूरे दिन, वो है ग्राफ ये. The maximum generation that we have got at 10:30 बजे के करीब, 10:30 बजे हमको मिला था 50 किलोवाट के अराउंड इन द हॉस्टल बिल्डिंग. And you can see in the administrative block what the generation is going right now. Yesterday, let me check. So yesterday what was happened in the administrative block, and again the maximum generation that we have got, you can see again at 10:30 बजे ही मिला. उधर भी हमको हॉस्टल एरिया में 10:30 बजे मिला, और एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव एरिया में भी 10:30 बजे ही मिला. और एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव एरिया में मिला हमें 132 किलोवाट, और हॉस्टल एरिया में मिला हमें 50 किलोवाट. So this is a real data that we are getting sitting in my office, to what is going on the solar rooftop in IIT Jammu. And if more data we want, we can ask and we can do accordingly. So thank you so much. I think I have tried my best to give you a little bit overview of the smart grid, Indian scenario, power sector, as well as solar and wind. So if you have any question, please go ahead.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Dear participants, do we have any questions? Ask questions. Yes. Yes.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Sir, I am Keshav Dutt. First of all, I would thank you on behalf of all the participants for enlightening our knowledge regarding the smart grid and the integration of renewable energy sources with the grid. So I have a small doubt that when we talk about, since we have discussed that the integration of renewable energy with the grid, that is a very hot area being discussed worldwide, you can say. And as you have very rightly mentioned that there are various issues. If you talk about renewable energy sources, then there are various issues like power quality management, voltage stabilization, stability issues. Also, you have told that unit condition and cost analysis, these are also there.
Yeah.
As a researcher, if I want to ask you, as a researcher, as per your opinion, what is the if you talk about on the priority basis, what is the hot or what is the issue that has more opportunity in future?
See,
As a researcher, if I ask you.
Kesoji, what I understand till date, as our nation is more concentrated toward renewable energy and battery storage, electric vehicle. So all these things generally, taking care by the power electronic devices, right? So when we're talking about the power electronic devices, we are talking about the inverter, converter, battery, X, Y, Z. So, and all the renewable as well as grid, this electric vehicle, if they are going to connect it with the grid, means our grid, है ना? तो
Yes, sir.
तो क्या होगा, हार्मोनिक्स अगर क्या है, पावर क्वालिटी का जो है ना, दैट इज बड़ा ही एक क्वेश्चन हो सकता है, क्योंकि जैसे मैंने आपको एक दिखाया कि जो एबीबी सिनेमेंस ये सब काम कर रही हैं इन्वर्टर्स कन्वर्टर्स पे, सो वो स्पेसिफिकेशन को ऐसे चेंज कर रहे हैं, दे आर डूइंग द कैरेक्टरिस्टिक इन सच अ वे दैट दे आर आल्सो मॉनिटरिंग एंड दे आर आल्सो टेकिंग केयर ऑफ द हार्मोनिक्स की, बिकॉज अगर कहते हैं ना, अगर 10 इक्विपमेंट लगे हैं, अब उसके बाद अभी फ्यूचर में 1000 लगेंगे, तो जाहिर सी बात है उसके अंदर चीजें तो वायलेशन तो होगा, डिटोरिएशन ऑफ द वोल्टेज करंट तो होगा ग्रिड पे, कुछ तो चेंजेस आएंगे। तो पावर क्वालिटी का भी एक इशू है। और दूसरा मैंने आपको बताया था कि जब ग्रिड से कनेक्टेड करना है आपको विंड को और सोलर को, और बड़ा ग्रिड है, छोटी मोटी फर्क नहीं पड़ता कि आपने हमने लगा रखा है ऊपर सोलर 500 किलोवाट का, अगर ये एकदम बंद भी हो जाए अभी तो ग्रिड को कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ना, राइट? क्योंकि you know what you do in my grid, but yeah, if it is a utility scale, when we talk on the utility scale, अगर 800 मेगावाट का, 1000 मेगावाट का, 700 मेगावाट का प्लांट कहीं लगा है और वो कहीं कनेक्टेड है, तो किसी ना किसी ट्रांसमिशन लाइन के साथ तो कनेक्टेड होगा ही किसी ना किसी एरिया में। अगर वो सडन डाउन होता है तो जाहिर सी बात है वो स्टेबिलिटी इश्यूज आएंगे, और एकदम आउट होता है और एकदम अंदर आता है तो उसकी जो पावर पॉइंट कपलिंग जहां पे हो रही है, हाउ इट इज गोइंग टू सिंक्रोनाइज विद द ग्रिड when the grid was lost and again is coming back, it is also a major challenge, right? And the last is how you are going to understand the uncertainty of this, how you are going to handle this, and how much what you can do so that whatever data you are predicting from forecasted data, and how you are using this data so that the percentage and margin error will be less. कि जो आप अज्यूम कर रहे हो कि कल का जो जनरेशन इतना होगा, तो वो कितना एक्यूरेट तो नहीं कह सकते एकदम 100%, लेकिन कितना एक्यूरेट है सो दैट अगर कुछ चेंजेस होते भी हैं तो वो ग्रिड संभाल ले। देयर आर नंबर ऑफ चैलेंजेस दैट यू कैन वर्क। एंड सिमिलरली व्हेन वी टॉकिंग द स्मार्ट ग्रिड, आजकल हम स्मार्ट मीटर और आजकल हम ये पीएमयू सिंक्रोफेजर है क्या, ये सब चीजें फील्ड पे लगी हैं और डाटा हमें दे रहे हैं कंट्रोल रूम में, और कुछ नहीं। स्मार्ट मीटर केशव जी क्या लग जाएगा, अगर केशव जी थोड़ी भी हरकत करेंगे छेड़खानी मीटर के साथ तो वो सारी चीजें ट्रेस हो रही हैं। आई एम सिटिंग इन माय ऑफिस एंड आई एम लुकिंग, मतलब ये प्रैक्टिकल नहीं है कि 1 लाख लोगों का बंदे का मीटर ट्रेस कर रहे हैं, लेकिन अगर मुझे शक है किसी पे तो वो डाटा उसमें सेव है, एवरीथिंग इज सेव, कहां पे टैंपरिंग की गई, कब क्या हरकत की गई, दैट वी विल गेट। आई एम गेटिंग योर पॉइंट।
Yes, sir.
So this is also आजकल ये भी बड़ा हॉट टॉपिक है, हाउ यू आर गोइंग टू रिड्यूस द डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन लॉसेस। अभी आजकल क्या है ना, आपने देखा होगा कि 4 तार, पहले जब बालकनी में बैठते थे तो 4 तार जाया करते थे, 3 फेज 1 न्यूट्रल। अब अगर 4 तार नहीं जा रहे हैं, आजकल एक केबल जा रही है ऊपर से, इसलिए ना क्योंकि हम बड़े स्मार्ट हैं, कभी कटिया डालने की आदत थी ना चोरी की, और आजकल ज्यादा से ज्यादा सेक्टर्स प्रायोरिटाइज भी हो रहे हैं ड्यू टू द सेम, ताकि हम इसको और कैसे इम्प्रूव किया जा सके।
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Do we have any other questions from the participants?
Sir, I have one question, sir. Sir, this is Shailendra, sir.
Yeah, I know, Shailendra, bolo.
Sir, I have seen your research, sir. In that, sir, you have pointed out the significant role of adding that pump storage plant.
हाँ बच्चे।
हाँ, so तो in that pump storage plant, have you considered the ramp rate of that pump storage plant?
हाँ हाँ बेटा देखो, पंप स्टोरेज प्लांट है क्या, ये एक हाइड्रो प्लांट ही है,
ये
जहाँ पे जो
yes sir.
सिंक्रोनस जनरेटर, जहाँ पे जो सिंक्रोनस जनरेटर लगा है ना, वो लगा हुआ है, वो कभी एज अ जनरेटर काम कर रहा है, कभी एज अ मोटर काम कर रहा है। और हाइड्रो पावर प्लांट में क्या होता है कि आपको तो आइडिया है ही कि एक ऊपर रिजर्वायर होता है, डैम से पानी पेनस्टॉक के थ्रू आकर के जो वर्टिकल टरबाइन होती है उसको हिट करती है और जनरेटर को घुमाता है तो बिजली बन जाती है, और वो पानी नीचे जाकर के रिवर में चला जाता है या उनके लोअर रिजर्वायर में चला जाता है। तो वही जनरेटर अब वो यूज हो रहा है एज अ मोटर कि जो पानी ऊपर खत्म हो रहा है ताकि तो हमको 300 पैसेंजर दिन पानी मिलता रहे, तो वो कभी क्या कर रहा है, पानी को नीचे से ऊपर पहुंचा रहा है। गेटिंग पॉइंट?
Yes sir.
तो मोटरिंग हो रही है जब हमारे पास वैली ग्राफ है। वैली ग्राफ का मतलब है जब खाई समझ रहे हैं
Yes
ना,
yes sir.
लोड एकदम कम है, और जब हमारा पीक लोड है तब हमको वो जनरेट कर रहा है ना।
Yes sir.
तो आपका क्वेश्चन क्या था भैया, जरा फिर से बताओ। जितना ये तो मैंने समझा दिया पीएसपी।
So
आपने
मतलब कि PSP का भी एक बड़ी मशीन होगी तो उसका भी एक रैम्प लोड रैम्प रेट होगा।
हाँ
तो
सॉरी बच्चे, अब हाँ सॉरी आपने पूछा था रैम्प,
Yes,
ये तो मैंने समझा दिया पीएसपी। अब रैम्प देखो बेटा, कोई भी सिंक्रोनस मशीन या कोई भी मशीन होगी, आपका लेट इट टेक योरसेल्फ, आपका भी एक रैम्प है।
yes sir.
रैम्प का मतलब है कि आप सीढ़ियों से चल रहे हो, अभी आप एक सीढ़ी क्रॉस कर रहे हो, तभी मैंने फोन किया सलेन जल्दी आओ। इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि एक साथ तुम 8 सीढ़ी जंप कर जाओगे।
Yes sir.
आओगे ज्यादा ज्यादा अब आप 2 सीढ़ियां जंप करोगे लगातार, ताकि आप जल्दी पहुंच सको, ताकि आप अपने रिक्वायरमेंट को मीट कर सको। आई एम राइट?
Yes sir.
लेकिन क्योंकि आपकी जो फिजिकल बॉडी है उसका भी एक कंस्टेंट है कि भैया आपकी टांगों की जो फिजिकल डिजाइन है, आपकी जो स्ट्रेंथ है, उसकी भी एक, ऐसा थोड़ी ना है कि अनूप शुक्ला ने बुलाया जल्दी ऑफिस आओ। आप क्या किया, पहले एक सीढ़ी क्रॉस कर रहे थे, फिर आप 10 सीढ़ी क्रॉस करके खट से मेरे पास आ गए और आपने लोड सेटिस्फाई कर दिया। दैट इज नॉट फिजिबल, राइट?
Yes sir.
So similarly, electrical machine में भी due to inertia as well as the design of the machine, there is a ramp constant. मशीन अगर अभी 100 मेगावाट पे रन कर रही है तो इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि अभी 1 घंटे बाद वो 500 मेगावाट जनरेट करने लगेगी। जितना उसका रैम्प कंस्टेंट डिजाइन है उसके अकॉर्डिंग ही वो रैंप अप हो पाएगी, उसके ऊपर नहीं हो पाएगी।
तो सर आपने अपने मतलब सिमुलेशंस में रैम्प रेट को चेंज करके देखा है कि तब क्या फायदा होता है?
हाँ बेटा देखो, जितना ज्यादा रैम्प रेट होगा, दैट अ वैलिड क्वेश्चन। सॉरी आप फैकल्टी हैं, लेकिन सॉरी मैं आपको पढ़ा रहा था तभी आदत अभी पड़ी हुई है।
मैं आपका स्टूडेंट ही हूँ शुरुआत से अभी तक स्टूडेंट ही हूँ।
तभी मैं आपको ऐसे बोल रहा हूँ। Sorry, now you are also faculty and you are like my
No sir, I am your student sir.
No problem. So what you are absolutely correct. You know कि if the ramp rate size will increase, obviously the cost will go down. क्योंकि आप उसी टाइम पीरियड में आप ज्यादा जनरेट कर ले रहे हो। अब बात समझे ना?
Yes sir.
अभी 60% रैम्प रेट है, एक मशीन जिसकी कैपेसिटी है 100 मेगावाट, 60% रैम्प रेट ऑफ दैट मशीन मींस वो 60 मेगावाट जंप कर सकती है। अभी आपने बढ़ा दिया 80% रैम्प, जाहिर सी बात है 20 मेगावाट का रैम्प मिला ना,
Yes sir.
तो ज्यादा जनरेट करेगा तो कॉस्ट डाउन तो पड़ेगा ही, डाउन नीचे होगा, करेक्ट?
Yes sir. ओके सर, अगर इसी की जगह पे हम लोग बैटरी सिस्टम्स लगाएं, क्योंकि बैटरी सिस्टम्स और जल्दी हम मतलब कि सुपर कैपेसिटर्स बैटरी आर देयर व्हिच हैज गॉट लोअर इनर्शिया, तो उनको भी यूज कर।
बेटा देखो, बैटरी आप लगाओगे, थोड़ा प्रैक्टिकल सोचना, दैट आई गिव होमवर्क टू यू। आप बैटरी लगा दोगे, लेकिन अगर सिंक्रोनस जनरेटर है ना, तो वो रिएक्टिव पावर भी देगा और रियल पावर भी देगा जब भी नीड होगी, अकॉर्डिंग टू, है ना, जितनी उसकी कैपेसिटी है, राइट? लेकिन अगर आप बैटरी लगा दोगे, समझ रहे हो ना, तो बैटरी रिएक्टिव पावर देगी।
So we can control the inverter ना, IQ currents we can control those
तो
things.
आपको बैटरी के साथ साथ एक इक्विपमेंट और चाहिए। अच्छा बोला आपने, आपको एक और चाहिए। सेकंड, बैटरी कब तक चलेगी?
जब तक सर उसमें चार्ज है।
उसकी लाइफ टाइम क्या होता है?
5 years नियरली।
5 years या 3 साल या 4 साल में चेंज हो जाएगी।
Yes, sir.
आप 100 मेगावाट की बैटरी सेटअप लगा रहे हो, 3 साल के बाद आपको पूरा ढांचा चेंज करना है।
Yes sir, yes sir.
That is feasible.
That will be problem sir. Yes sir.
Then अब जो 100 मेगावाट की बैटरी लगा रहे हो, जो खत्म हुई है, उसका जो कबाड़ है वो कहाँ जाएगा? मैं देसी भाषा में बोलूं।
बिल्कुल सर, बिल्कुल।
So बड़ा ऐसे कुछ कंस्टेंट है, कई जगह हम बैटरी यूज करते हैं, लेकिन जब भी हम ग्रिड कनेक्टेड बात करते हैं तो हम बैटरी को अवॉइड करते हैं।
ओके सर। से इंडियन सिनेरियो
क्योंकि
में
बैटरी जनरली हम बैटरी वहां यूज करते हैं जहां हम ये मालूम है पावर की फ्लक्चुएशन ज्यादा है। जैसे आपका घर है,
यस सर,
ठीक है, आप सोलर लगाओगे, आपको मालूम है कि मेरे यहाँ भैया लखनऊ में 24 घंटे लाइट रहती है, ठीक, उसके बावजूद आप सोलर लगा रहे हो ग्रिड के साथ, क्यों लगा रहे हो? ताकि आपका टैरिफ कम हो जाए, करेक्ट?
यस सर,
लेकिन अगर आपको ये मालूम है कि लखनऊ में 24 घंटे में 18 घंटे लाइट रहती है, 6 घंटे का मार्जिन आता है हमेशा, ये तो मिनिमम है, तब आप क्या करोगे? तब आप बैटरी लगाओगे,
यस सर,
ताकि 6 घंटे हमको बैटरी से मिल जाए। तो दैट इज फिजिबल, दैट इज फिजिबल। लेकिन जब हम गेट के साथ काम करते हैं तो हम ये भी देखते हैं कि गेट की अवेलेबिलिटी क्या है, कैसे है, तब हम ये सब चीजों को ध्यान में रखते हैं। ओके बच्चे,
ओके सर, थैंक यू सो मच सर, थैंक यू सो मच।
थैंक यू सो मच। और भी कोई क्वेश्चन है, प्लीज गो अहेड।
Do we have any more questions? Anyone from the participants? Thank you so much, sir, for such an amazing lecture. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Angita ji, as a faculty. As a faculty, just I need one favor from your side also. If you are able to give